What up, what up, what up, what it is, what it do? You know who it is, who are you? We back again with the fellas from the 22 twos. We here to talk to y'all about the ball that bounces, that's round, that's orange, basketball.
Mm.
Lots of basketball to cover. March Madness,
So now,
April
epic
frenzy,
rally.
whatever you want to call it, is over.
You sure the
Mm.
ball? You sure the ball is orange? It's not brown like how it's back in the day. You like
I
orangish brown.
mean, I mean, I
Uh,
mean,
as we move
okay,
from
Mr.
Spalding to
Pantone.
Wilson,
Okay, Mr. Pantone. But
Wilson.
we gotta talk about this college basketball, men's and women's. Shout out to them lady Huskies. And we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
talk about the NBA as we gear up for the playoffs. Lots of things happening there too.
Hoops
Some
for that
weird
ass.
situations, just
Hoops for that ass. What you
pretty
said?
much. Pretty much.
NCAA and hoops for that ass. Let's
Pretty
go.
much.
Ain't no more
Nothing
long
but
talking. Ain't no more long talking.
NBA, nothing but hoops. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get it kicked off. I'm gonna take it over to the moderator extraordinaire himself.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Two.
Boys, y'all know this weekend, Final Four, I didn't put no bread up. I think y'all should clap. I ain't put no bread up. I enjoyed it. I watched it as a fan. FanDuel was not getting me this time around. They got me last year. I learned my lesson though. But Final Four was crazy. The first time since 2008, only the second time in history. All four number one seeds made the Final Four. And boy, what a weekend we got. I know a lot of folks are used to, trying to have a Cinderella make the Final Four and see what they could do, see if they could etch it out in the end. But we had the four top teams in the nation, four of the top teams that the national media has been covering profusely throughout the year. Make the Final Four, and we had two insane comebacks. Houston coming back from 14 points down to overcome Duke, and then in the championship game, Florida giving Houston a taste of its own medicine, coming back from a 12-point deficit, and at the end, Emmanuel Sharp, bro, you gotta figure out a way to get the ball on the rim, man. Houston went three straight possessions down the stretch without even
Turn them.
attempting a
Turn them.
field goal. And you saw it on the looks of those boys' faces. They just sat there, and it was a lot to process at the end. I'm sure that those are the moments that's gonna haunt you for the rest of your life. Maneuvers. I know you were tapped in. We were all in the group chat, throwing things back and forth, saying what coulda, shoulda, woulda went down. But which comeback were you more impressed with this weekend? Houston over Duke or Florida over Houston?
Um, they both got their merits, but I am gonna go.
You're gonna say Houston, Florida.
Huh?
You're gonna say Houston, Florida.
Nah, I actually wasn't. But thanks for speaking for me. I appreciate it. You want to go ahead and give my
Any?
take as well?
If you'll allow me to, I'll go ahead. Since you're being such a gentleman.
Nah, I was being really sarcastic about that.
Are
Shut
you
up. Let me
facetious,
speak.
tongue in cheek? Pause.
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Go ahead and cook.
Hey, yo. Nah, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Houston win over Duke. As much as it pains me to say so, I think it was a that comeback is a reflection of the team and the coach, and I think they they thrived in that situation, being down and having to make the comeback and against all odds. I think that works for them, and I think you see how in the finals how being leading from the front, leading out front, how it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't as easy for them.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think they're built to be underdogs and to pause win from behind. But I think they had a more impressive. I think I
That
think
was
they had the
that was a
more. I think they
that's
had the more
calculated.
impressive comeback just because their comeback encompassed them actually stopping Duke and doing things themselves as opposed to their loss was a lot of them stopping themselves, not Florida stopping them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, watching the game yesterday, and my wife, aka Sean's sister, looks at me and goes, "College looks way more physical than the NBA," and I was just like, without context, I'm like, "Yeah, these boys are getting it tonight," and Houston's known for that defense, grind it out, muck it up, and not for nothing, the refs were letting them boys get away with murder last night. I saw a lot of contact that went uncalled, but the name of the game, you got to earn it, right? So, Sean, Houston, 7 Final Fours, 3 championship game appearances, 0 titles. Can they get over the hump considering, everything new with the NIL and money being pumped into these programs? Does Houston look like a destination where you think, they can get a lot of top 5-star recruits and, finally get over that hump?
I'd like to think so. The HC, what's the name of the head coach? Donna, help me.
Kevin Sampson.
Kevin Sampson, 79 years old. Still doing the damn thing. He has them playing a gritty type of basketball that, is a head coach's dream, straight up hustle. And they're one of the best offensive rebounding schools in the country. So it's like, why would you not want to go there if you're a superstar, a budding superstar, to be able to go play with them? I mean, Houston, but you feel terrible for Houston. But what I feel terrible for is Duke. Just to go back on the previous topic, Houston deprived us of the matchup that we deserved. Duke, Florida, that would have been fireworks, right? But nonetheless, we still got an excellent matchup. Houston just didn't have enough offense to be able to keep up with Florida in the second half, and they were able to they got mopped up. But I like Houston's chances of getting the proper talent in the next season through the NIL, and we'll see how it goes, and the transfer portal, we'll see how it goes.
And, of course, you saying that we got robbed of the matchup we deserve. But, with that gesture, I'm actually not mad, Duke lost, because then you would have had the Cooper Flag, Carmelo Anthony comparisons about a freshman taking the 10 to the chin. And I ain't trying to have that. Newly minted Hall of Famer, Carmelo Anthony, which we're going to get into a little bit later. But Darnell, what's up?
Cooper coming back.
Are you sure?
I don't know.
Number 1 pick in the draft solidified. I mean, maybe if he sees, I don't know, whatever team.
Look at this guy. And be like, insider, bro. You know this for a fact. What's your sources?
And the NIL has changed the landscape, fellas. Cooper's coming back. You heard it here first.
Wow. We gonna make sure we clip that and put it on IG. And then if we hear it from Shams down the week, he got to make sure he credit his sources. 22-2 said it first. But Darnell, Duke Blue Devils, Sean and I believe Cooper Flag is out and will indeed become the number 1 pick in the 2025 NBA draft. How does Duke, retool and try to make a run at this thing again next year if Cooper does leave? I mean, prestigious college, they got Shire over there, taking over for Coach K, and it seems like, there's going to be no shortage of recruits trying to head there. So how do they retool?
I said they'll retool. Duke, for the most part, they're always going to be in the top 10, top 5 in recruiting, So the fact that they did have this dominance, got to the Final Four, it was more along their game. You got to really be honest, man. They probably blew that one. So it wasn't as much like Houston, of course, like, I'm a big fan of saying the players execute, the coach only calls the plays. And that's why, we look at it now, we have this situation where 5th-year seniors and NIL does play a part in guys staying in, making more money. So Duke itself, it's a brand name. If you want to go, it's a blue blood. There's not that much advertising to do. Playing in Camden Indoor Stadium, I can't believe you made that shot. Cameron Indoor Stadium.
Stop watching the game. We're working.
But the Cameron Indoor Stadium. But,
Darnell locked in on Knicks Celtics.
Yeah, but like right now, like with the change in landscape, I don't think it'll be that much of a difference with Duke. I think they'll still be able to retool. You think about it, all of the names right now. You just talk about one in NBA. Talking about Jason Tatum, Zion, RJ Barrett, Cooper Flag about to be number 1 overall pick. You're talking about a very different side of what the college landscape will be. But playing for Duke is not going to be a second guess. You go to Duke, you got the grades, you got the talent, you're going to go. Plain and simple.
Boozer and Boozer. That's all I got to say.
Hey, yeah.
Listen, I went to that McDonald's game. Them Boozer boys is a nice. Yo, listen, man. Watching that McDonald's game, these youths, they train so much now one-on-one with their personal trainers, and their bags are so deep. I'm just like, the moves they were displaying on the court, because that McDonald's game is way more competitive than the NBA All-Star game. So guys is really trying to get to it, right? Like, these guys haven't played together. They haven't played against each other, so they're trying to make sure, I'm trying to stand out, and the bags on these guys is different. But, guys working on their bag, the women working on their bag too, because them girls is going for it. What's up, Maneuvers?
I just want to say before we go over to the women, next year, another early prediction. Watch out for Arizona, man. Cole Pete, the young James boy.
That's next year already, right?
Yeah.
Is he in a senior year? Why do I think he was a junior?
That's what I believe.
Oh boy,
I believe. And Cole Pete is a problem. 6'8", bouncy. He got a nice little bag on him. So Arizona and Duke, that's my two that are gonna be up there next year. But anyway, let's get to the women.
Right.
That's the best game. That's the best basketball you're gonna watch. College women basketball.
Listen, the NCAAW, because them girls is getting out at 2, presumable number 1 pick in the draft. Paige Bueckers and Azzi Fudd went crazy. Don't forget about Sarah Strong. Those girls took it to South Carolina. Dawn Staley does not get her back-to-back chips. And Geno Auriemma completes the task, getting his 12th national championship. This guy he's got to be the GOAT in coaching women's basketball at this point, from the names that have gone through UConn, made it to the W, made their legacy, to just getting these girls together and to buy in. And you see so many different talents come together, sacrifice, make it happen. And they, quite frankly, they ran SC out the gym. It wasn't even close. They had a little battle there in the first quarter, but after that, it was all UConn. Sean, is Geno your GOAT?
Before this tournament, well, not before, when what you call it got hurt.
You talking about Juju?
When Juju got hurt, we already said clear path to the NCAA finals, and title goes through UConn. It is their tournament to lose, and it was a given. You know what I mean? 12 national titles. That's like unheard dominance in any sport. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So as far as GOAT talk goes, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. A resounding yes. Absolutely.
Maneuvers where Azzi Fudd and Sarah Strong returning next year, and no Paige Bueckers. How good do you like their chances to repeat?
I put their chances pretty high. Sarah Strong did not play like a freshman.
No, absolutely not.
Which means she only gets better. And we had the privilege of seeing them play in person. And there is something that doesn't
shout out to you.
Well, there's something that doesn't translate well on television that you see when you watch the game in person, is that as important and dominant as Paige was, that is a really good team.
Yeah.
Like, without Paige, they are really good. They might have won it without her this year, So yeah, I think they're early favorites to repeat. So it'll be pretty cool. Like UConn, then flip over the other side, UConn.
Yeah, and I mean, look, you got Juju returning next year, so USC, they're gonna have something to say. I would like to believe SC is gonna come back and retool and have something to say. Transfer portals everywhere. I do wonder how Notre Dame will fare with Olivia Miles foregoing the WNBA draft and entering the transfer portal. It'll be really interesting to see
that was crazy.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what team she
NIL.
joins. NIL. It's creating madness. And the madness is going from the NCAA to the NBA because we have another coach firing days before the NBA playoffs are set to begin. Denver Nuggets fire coach Mike Malone, and they also fire their GM. Darnell, what's happening now with these teams with great players firing their coaches and just literally changing the tune of leadership right before the playoffs?
It's a players' league. Adam Silver has pretty much he gave the keys to the NBA over to the players. There has to be something that happened, but this kind of goes back to it with the Raptors. It goes back to it with, Budenholzer with the Bucks. These guys, these superstars of these teams are getting rid of these really solid coaches, So I don't exactly know what's going to fare for it and how the NBA itself will kind of like the eventual baseline of where we're at with these teams. So I didn't expect it, being that they've had issues during the season. But when I see that there's a huge disconnect between ownership, the coach, and it's probably with Jokic, because I'm pretty sure they don't make that decision without him. So
you don't care.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
You don't even want to be playing basketball.
Nah, you want to go ride ponies and horses, man.
The horses.
I mean, how I feel about it is, granted, the GM is to blame for a lot of the shortcomings of the Denver Nuggets roster, them being top heavy, their first five. And then first five starters, you know what I'm saying? And then they were able to get pieces after they lost. And me and FJB were talking about this earlier. When they made the decision to get rid of a glue piece, not even before the glue piece, like Bruce Brown, you got to pay somebody like that so that they'll be able to have more continuity and have someone to be able to anchor that bench. Because Bruce Brown was their everything. He was like their Josh Hart. You know what I'm saying? And then, Mike Malone's coaching job nothing be said of higher regard to what he did. You know what I'm saying? The development of Zach Braun, or is it Jason Braun?
Christian Braun.
Christian Braun. His development. Russell Westbrook's resurgence. And even in a down year with Jamal Murray not playing as well as he did, you still have Joker playing at an MVP level. Now they did have some slippage. They went 2-7 down the stretch. You know what I'm saying? Which led them all the way down to the 4th spot.
But they in the mix.
Yeah, bro, they're right in the mix.
What's it right now?
They're a basketball team, but I guess this may have just come from the owner. You know what I'm saying? Like, cut your losses. The players are not responding to Mike Malone the way that they should, and just move in another direction.
Maneuvers at this point of the season, every team has played 77 or 78 games. Who's the MVP? SGA or Joker?
MVP of the league?
Yeah.
I mean, they can't rob SGA again, can they?
SGA win before.
They could.
I said they can't rob him.
Rob him. Got you. Yeah, they can't rob him. They can't. I feel like it's undeniable. They've won too many games. Best player, like top, the number one in every defensive category, like making the game look easy. Literally effortless 30-point buckets, 40 points, 50, like whatever, however you want it, we will deliver it. That's what you're getting from SGA.
Yeah, he's the clear-cut MVP for me. I mean, I don't think Joker's number 2. If you really want to be real about it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's SGA's award because I'm glad he had such a good season. I'm glad he stayed healthy because last year when they robbed him, I was like, damn, it's like it felt bad because it was like you hope he can repeat the success he had last year and get the MVP award that he deserved.
Yeah,
I felt like he deserved it last year. So.
I'm gonna call my own number on this next one. Carmelo Anthony, congratulations, newly minted Hall of Fame athlete, pro basketball player, college basketball player, well deserved. Well deserved.
Olympian.
I'm still tight. Houston did all that bullshit and had him out the league essentially for a year because all the nerds and analytics wanted to say threes or layups, and this guy was a killer of the mid-range. He came back to Portland and LA still doing what he knew how to do best. Mid-range assassin, just getting buckets time over time. At the time of his retirement, top 10 in the league history in scoring. We all know what he did at Syracuse as a freshman, taking that team to a national title. Well deserved. Beloved Nick. Hopefully the Nuggets do the right thing and get his number up in the rafters, even though Joker is wearing it. That's neither here or there. Just congratulations and definitely giving flowers where it's due.
America.
Yeah.
He was on
Team USA.
He was
Three
the
gold
big
medals.
dog.
Team team.
He was the big dog on Team USA.
Four gold medals?
Three. KD
He was
has
the
four.
alpha.
KD has the most.
He was the alpha.
Yeah.
On a team of alphas, he was always the alpha on Team USA.
Give me the ball and move out my way. Darnell, give me a first-round playoff matchup you'd like to see the most. I know the West is still insane right now. The 3 through 8 are like within one game of each other with 4 games left. So we don't know what's going to happen there. But East or West, just give me a first-round matchup you would like to see happen.
I know the team that I really want to see play, man, whoever Houston plays, I'm excited to see what those guys are going to do. Because I said it's all up in the air right now. You know, whoever they're going to play. But Houston versus whoever that 7 matchup is, that's what I'm excited to see.
Makes sense. Sean, do you have a dark horse playing team? My point of view, ain't no dark horse beat. Like the top of both conferences is too good to even have a dark horse this year. At least, there'll probably be, maybe one of them could get in, but they ain't beating number 1 seeds or 2 seeds this year for me.
JB, I'm surprised.
What say you?
I'm surprised at you, bro. You don't have any belief in the Orlando Magic?
Oh boy,
not with no Jalen Suggs. Not without no Jalen Suggs.
I mean, Jalen Suggs doesn't move the needle entirely for me, but I feel like they can be a scrappy.
They don't have any point guard, and their offense sucks. It's been bottom 5 in the league for the past month and a half.
But their defense, they're a grindhouse kind of team. You know what I'm saying?
They still need to score.
They do. But I'm saying dark horse. I'm not saying world beater. Okay, like I'm saying that they can make it. They could possibly make it happen, depending on a good day or not. From
make
one or
what
two
happens.
guys.
Win a series or make some noise.
Make some noise. Make a little cowbell or something.
All right. Well, this next one is for the floor.
I didn't even give you my
go ahead.
I didn't even give you my West Coast.
Oh, I thought you were giving me 2. I thought you were giving me 1.
Yeah,
He asked you for 2. He asked you for 2.
He asked for 1.
He asked you for 2. You like to hear yourself talk.
All y'all niggas need to relax, okay? Right now I like the Warriors.
I mean, so I guess it's a trick question, right? Because technically, any of those teams from 3 to 6 can technically fall into that play-in, and we know how good they are. Yeah. So I see what you did there. Use a little trickery, use a little grammar against me. But boys, right now it's 121 left in overtime, 112 apiece. Boston Celtics and our beloved New York Knicks, who have won 50 games back-to-back seasons. I know the minutes police, myself included, Darnell included. We've been getting on Tom Thibodeau all year about that rotation, but he has these boys playing at an ultimate level. This is the first game all year where we've had our entire roster available to play for a night. What is the ceiling, Maneuvers? What do you think the ceiling is for this team in the playoffs?
Eastern Conference Finals.
So you think, right now, the Celtics and Knicks are basically locked into 2 and 3. So
ask him why.
What gives you confidence that the Knicks are going to be able to beat Boston in the second round?
I just believe in them boys. I believe in the heart. I believe in the heart that they showed last year. I believe Josh Hart. And I think, Jalen right now, he's working to get his legs back. And I think he got some much needed rest going into the playoffs due to injury.
Listen, I think that week off is going to be incredible.
Yeah, and I also think I gotta believe that there is a plan to utilize a different rotation in the playoffs. I think teams will not be
something that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah. I think teams will not be ready early for that. They'll have to adjust. It'll be a different look.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of Milwaukee, Indiana, and Detroit, I'm actually not worried about playing any one of those teams in the first round. I feel like a lot of those teams have gotten a little bit too excited, thinking they could take the Knicks down. And this is a 50-win ball club, right? Like, we're now getting our pieces together. We're now getting healthy. Sean, what do you see as the ceiling for this team? You think we can make it past the second round as well?
I say second round exit. I mean, to be honest, it's the first year with this roster, this collective playing with each other. You can see glimpses of greatness from certain players in spots where it's needed. OG Anunoby, down the stretch, these last 15 games has been tremendous. And you're hopeful that you're able to see that continued growth from him, at least offensively. But you're still looking for contributions from guys when it matters, like Mikal Bridges. You know what I mean? Who shrunk under the biggest stage or the biggest set of circumstances when we needed him to pull through. I want to see more assertiveness from Karl Anthony Towns. As far as the playoffs, I mean, if we draw Boston, like, we're not beating Boston. They switch everything. Yeah. There's no mismatch that we can take advantage of. Everything is going to be difficult on the offensive side of the ball. And with Kristaps Porzingis shooting 30-foot three-pointers, like, who's guarding that? You know what I'm saying? So I see honestly, I see the Knicks going out in the second round.
Yeah. Darnell?
Yeah, I'll say so too. And I agree a lot with Sean about that. We have glimpses. There are times where it's like, okay, we got greatness, but playing against that Boston team that just has so much, I just don't know how we could do it. It's
maneuvers is itching.
We're there, but we're not. And it's just time and time again, we just have moments where they just show that they're just a better team.
Yeah.
And it's tough to watch, but we got to be honest. We're making progress. First 50-win seasons back-to-back since, 1994, 96? It was 94. So, you know what? I'll take it, But
you want to know something, Darnell? You want to know something? Maneuvers got the same optimism when it comes to the Knicks that I do with the Giants.
No, it's not optimism.
The same blind.
It's not blind optimism.
Ray Charles optimism, bro.
It's not blind optimism. You have blind optimism with the Giants. I'm talking about the Knicks, and I'm talking about the Knicks that we've seen develop over the last couple of years. I think everyone is kind of like sitting in awe of this Boston team that won the chip last year and how great they look. Like, this is the same team that blows 20-point leads. This is the same team that lost to the Miami Heat.
Because they be bored, bro.
It is the same. Listen, they won a championship. They don't have championship DNA, bro. They ain't got that dog in them.
I don't know, bro.
I don't know about all of that.
If y'all believe they got the dog in them, then that's on you. I don't believe they got the dog in them.
They won a championship last year.
Yeah, and it
wasn't 3-4 years ago.
That's all people are hanging their hat on. They got a chance. They want.
It's the only thing they can hang their hat on.
Yeah, but listen, how many years before that were they supposed to win the championship? There's people out there with tattoos from 2021 that said the Celtics were supposed to win the championship.
And maneuvers really quick. That's the point we're trying to make with the Knicks. This is a newly assembled basketball team.
Year one of this.
Just like the Boston.
I hear your point.
Listen. Just like the Boston Celtics, they had to take their lumps in order to be able to become a better basketball team.
I hear your point.
And be battle tested.
I hear your point, and I understand. And I'm not saying I agree with it. What I'm saying is, I get it makes sense. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense, but Like, I am not scared of the Celtics, bro. Like,
you don't have to be scared to get ass whooping.
Huh?
You don't have to be scared to get ass whooping.
Like, listen, it is not beyond. Listen, it's not beyond reason that we can beat them in a 7-game series. You guys are acting like it's signed, sealed, delivered that the Celtics are going to beat the Knicks in a 7-game series in the playoffs.
I wouldn't say signed, sealed, delivered. I just think it's very likely.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's probable.
It's not even about. For me, it's not even about the chip. It's not about the dog in them. Like, I'm watching the on the court product and how they create mismatches because we switch everything. I'm seeing drop coverage still continue to be played by Cat because that's what Tibbs is telling him. You know, they're attacking that. They're attacking Brunson. There are things that the Boston Celtics do that basically guarantees them a bucket or a foul. And we need to be able to do that on the other end consistently. And I don't know if we can get to that bag with as much frequency and consistency as the Celtics will be able to.
Yeah. I hear everything that you guys are saying. And with 5.4 seconds left,
hope alive. Keep hope alive.
With 5.4 seconds left,
it's over.
It's
over, man.
Saying in this final matchup before the playoffs,
this was a good loss.
I probably sound crazy, but I don't believe. Like, I believe more in the Knicks in these type of situations over the course of a 7-game series in Boston. That's where it's not an optimism. It's I just believe in them more. I believe they will fight more than Boston. We see the fight that this team has, bro.
Yeah. But you know what's crazy? They didn't even have Jaylen Brown. That's what's crazy, and they still have.
Jaylen?
But when
Dark season Jaylen Brown ain't no killer, bro.
Can I talk? Can I make my point?
He's hurt, bro. But that's the thing. That kind of goes to Maneuver's point too, though. Like, if he's gonna be hurt that whole series, that drastically decreases their chances, bro. Like, no Jaylen Brown or a hobbled.
But I don't think Porzingis is gonna be up there dropping, 3-pointers from.
Nah, he's not doing that.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, they have the depth. They have the guys that make the right plays. And as I told you when I was watching the game earlier, it's those. Anytime they get a second chance bucket, they always score. It is like it's crippling. You play them down all the way to a tough shot with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. They get the rebound, pitch it back out and make a three. They
lost to Jimmy Butler, bro.
But that playoff Jimmy's a thing, man. So let's not disrespect Jimmy like that. Look what he's done for Steph. You know what I mean? So let's not disrespect Jimmy Butler like that.
I can appreciate your hate and disdain for Boston. And let me just make this clear.
Take us out, Sean, because I'm out of here. It's a loss. Damn.
Listen, yeah. I also hate Boston, sir.
Yeah,
we all hate Boston. But when you're watching the game with your eyes and not your heart, you very clearly see that Boston is first of all, we can't go back to what I just said a couple moments ago. You cannot create mismatches on offense if you're the New York Knicks, if you're running pick and roll. You can't do it. Because what? Because they switch everything and they have capable defenders from 1 to 4 and even 5 with Kristaps Porzingis. He can switch and he can play on anybody. So what it goes back to is what FJB said many moons ago. He said that you need another ball handler to be able to take guys off the dribble and create and get buckets. We have the emergence of OG Anunoby, which I like, but, athletically, the Boston Celtics make it difficult on him. All of those guys are strong defenders. You can't move them off a spot. So when it comes to offense for the New York Knicks, everything that comes easy with every other team becomes difficult. So it's like, where do you find the happy medium and be able to attack the Boston Celtics? And I think that is the bottom line. And I think that will get better over time. It will be a second round exit. Maneuvers, we're going to clip everything you said and we're gonna have a clowning session at the end of the season. And back to you, FJB.
Don't worry,
Oh,
we're
this
gonna
quickly,
do the
this-
same thing for you with all the foolishness you talk about the Giants. All right?
This just went from shoot your shot to Knicks talk, but you know the vibes
10
already.
wins.
You
10
know how
win,
we
the 10-win Giant team.
That was
Y'all know
last
the
year.
vibes
The
already.
10-win Giant team, right?
Hit the comment section, Instagram, YouTube, X, the vibes already. Hit us up, subscribe, like, share the post. We out of here.
Peace.
Peace.